Entitkwemera ko rutar indwa yegukana itsiakaro siamwami. Umwana wanje yabukia mumuryango wabami and tabwa yatora nijwegusa. We cannot let Rutar Indwa claim what belongs to Musinga. My son was born of a queen, not chosen by adoption. The fire at Rucunshu left a scar on Rwanda's heart. I am not a coward. Let history say I died a king. You can still flee. The royal hill is lost. Save yourself. You are now Yuhi V. Musinga, king of Rwanda. The sacred idea of the king was destroyed. At dawn, Kanjog era's forces struck Rucunshu. There was no warning, just violence. Warriors swarmed from the mist, overwhelming sentries. Mutara and his loyalists fought fiercely, outnumbered but unyielding. They formed a desperate circle around the king's hut. Spears flew, metal clashed, chaos reigned. The attackers set fire to the compound, flames devouring everything. Smoke choked the defenders, confusion spread. The royal compound became an inferno. Rutarindwa stood with dignity, knowing all was lost. There was no escape, fire behind, enemies ahead. The battle turned to slaughter. Hopes for peace burned with the huts. The sky over Rucunshu was black with smoke. The king's reign ended in fire. In the dead of night, Kanjog era and her brothers chose war. Rutarindwa's court at Rucunshu was beautiful, but exposed. The plan? A surprise attack at dawn, overwhelming the king's small force. Abega warriors moved silently through the hills, fueled by tales of Rutarindwa's illegitimacy. Villagers hid as the army passed, knowing what was coming. In Rucunshu, an uneasy calm settled. Mutara sensed danger, urging Rutarindwa to move, but the king stayed, hoping for peace. Inside, Rutarindwa and Rubusisi debated one last plea for unity. Then, the first sounds of attack shattered the night. The storm had arrived thousands of feet. Then screams. The defenders scrambled to respond. The Battle of Rucunshu had begun. The kingdom's fate would be decided by dawn. There was no turning back. Rwanda's future was on the line. Rutarindwa felt the throne's weight grow heavier each day. Council meetings were empty, allies vanished. He was king in name, but a prisoner in his own court. Rubabasisi urged ruthlessness, but Rutarindwa hesitated. He was not his father. He pleaded for unity, but Kanjog era's camp offered only empty words. Mutara, the warrior, saw the truth. War was coming. He rallied the few loyal in Or, preparing for a last stand. Their numbers were small, but their resolve was fierce. The royal residence at Rucunshu became an island of loyalty. Rutarindwa was torn between his nature and his duty. The drums of war grew louder. He looked to his allies, feeling alone and haunted. The king was already a ghost in his own kingdom. The final confrontation was inevitable. The fate of Rwanda hung in the balance. Kanjog era's power was in whispers, not shouts. She met with her brothers, plotting in the night. They painted Rutarindwa as weak, unfit to rule. Their rumors spread, sowing doubt in every village. Kanjog era's agents questioned Rutarindwa's lineage and omens, fueling fear. Chiefs were bribed or threatened, loyalty shifting to Musinga. The court grew paranoid, trust in Rutarindwa evaporated. Chiefs who once stood by him now avoided his gaze. Kanjog era's camp gathered weapons and warriors, preparing for war. Musinga, just a boy, watched as his mother spun a web of betrayal. The kingdom's unity unraveled, replaced by suspicion. The Abega clan's ambition was now an open secret. War was no longer a question, but a certainty. The trap for the king was nearly set. At the center was Queen Mother Kanjog era, sharp-minded and ambitious. Her son, Prince Musinga, was her path to power. Kanjog era's Abega clan influence was strong, and she saw opportunity in the king's death. Opposing her was Rutarindwa, the named heir, earnest, but not a warrior. He wanted peace, but the court was full of wolves. Ruwabasisi, his wise advisor, warned him, "A person's heart is a forest. Beware what hides inside." Mutara, the loyal warrior, prepared for battle, sensing Kanjog era's plotting. Kabare and Ruhinankiko, Kanjog era's brothers, were ready to fight for the throne. The court split. Loyalists versus the ambitious. Rutarindwa's supporters were outnumbered but determined. The pieces were set, alliances shifting in the shadows. The kingdom braced for a struggle that would decide its future. The game for Rwanda's soul was about to begin. Every move now would shape the fate of a nation. The first blow was imminent. Rwanda was silent. King Kigeli IV Rwabugiri was dead. His reign of conquest and power had ended, leaving the kingdom leaderless. The news spread in whispers, fear growing in every home. The hills, once lively, now waited in uneasy stillness. In the royal court, suspicion replaced unity. Power was up for grabs, and ambition simmered in the shadows. Rwabugiri had named his successor, but loyalty was uncertain. The kingdom teetered between tradition and ambition. People prayed for peace, but the sky offered no sign. The royal compound was tense, every whisper hinting at conflict. The nation waited, fear rooting deep. The kingdom was a pot over fire, just beginning to boil. The story of Rwanda was about to change forever.